Right. So, Graloth explains stuff.
And things.
And things.
Yep, so what I have here is an automated fertilizer creation system thing. It automatically creates fertilizer. You don't have to supply it with anything. It gets all the materials that it needs automatically, like lava and water. It gets through tesseracts and stuff like that. But I've set up behind here a much simpler type of schematic to explain how it all works. Because it can be confusing looking at all the wiring and tubing. So what I started out with, what you see over there in the corner with the lava, is the sand and gravel generators. And the sand is one of the final components in fertilizer. So it's just moved into storage from there. The gravel is then sent to a recycler, turned into scrap, together with any overflow sand, stuff like that.
Just go over here, actually. Come on. Oh, you're looking at your schematic, aren't you?
Yep.
I was actually looking at the machines. Yeah, okay. So let's just look at the nice schematic that you've spent time making. I ignored.
So turning the gravel and excess sand into scrap, and turning the scrap into UU matter, and then turning the UU matter into pulverized tin dust.
Right.
And then smelting that into tin ingots, turning 4 of those into 8 empty cells. And here's where it starts getting a bit more complicated.
Should I go out or sideways?
Both, because some of the empty cans get sent to a compressor.
Yeah, you've got an audience here. I've just realised all your golems are watching.
Yep. I felt
they're learning how to do this.
But yeah, some of the empty cans get sent to a singularity compressor to make compressed air, I think it's called.
Yeah, compressed air cells would be.
Yep. And then behind here, most of them get sent to industrial electrolyzers, where they, together with... I just noticed I forgot to put in the bit behind here for the ender pearls.
Oh, but anyway, stop and start again then. So yeah, you've got... I remember this. You've got endermen falling down that produce ender pearls that you then grind into dust.
Yes, and that gets put into the industrial electrolyzer, which produces these 4 cans. We got nitrogen, potassium, beryllium, and calcium, I think it is. Chloride, not calcium.
Okay.
And the chloride and beryllium just get sent all the way back here, back to the empty cells. In the process, they basically get extracted, turned back into empty cells. So they're basically recycled back into the system.
Yeah.
And these, the 3 cans that are left, compressed air cell, nitrogen, and potassium, gets crafted into saltpeter.
Yeah.
Which is another component for the
end product.
Yeah, the fertilizer. And with the latest update we got today, the recipe now also requires dirt, which is this entire section. I have 2 below us here. I can show it in a moment. I have 2 multi-block multi-farms from Forestry, the new farms. One for wheat, which produces seeds and wheat, and one for sugar canes.
Right.
And they get crafted into plant balls, which, when macerated, turns into dirt. And all these, the saltpeter, the dirt, and the sand from the very beginning, gets combined into fertilizer.
Good. But so this is entirely automatic fertilizer production you've got now.
Yes, it's currently running very, very slow because the whole generating UU matter is very slow, so I don't have very many cells, empty cells in the system. Plus...
Why has that changed? Because, yeah, honestly, we did record this last night and then you changed the machine, so we've had to re-record this. But... And you've actually successfully filled an extended barrel with fertilizer.
Yeah, that's because I had a lot of appetite, which is this chest over here. It's empty right now. It's for when I get appetite. I put it in that chest, and the auto crafting table then creates 8 for 1 appetite. Right. And that was what was creating the really high excess.
Right.
But this crafting table here is the actual automated recipe. And you can see it only produces 2 at a time. And it requires 2 sand and 2 dirt, where yesterday it only required 1 saltpeter and 1 sand.
It's almost as if they expected people to make a machine like this.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same when I modified it here today, but the farms down below, they don't produce dirt fast enough. The chest behind here is basically for dirt.
You could use UU matter to make dirt, you know?
Yeah, but I need that to make empty cells. But yeah, see, you just got 1 dirt put into the chest now.
You could use UU matter to make everything except the fertilizer.
But yeah, if you look in the chest here, it's filled with saltpeter.
It's filled. Well, not quite. There's still some space.
And here is all the requirements to make more saltpeter. And behind here is basically just the sorting system to make sure that the amount in here, like if it uses all the cells in here, you won't have any spare cells in this chest. There's the exact amount needed. And you do that by the... it's doing that by using the regulator above here. You can see in the leftmost area, I've set it to use 2 potassium, 2 nitrogen, and 3 compressed air, which is needed to make the saltpeter. And the center area is the internal buffer. And you can see it's only gotten the compressed air and the nitrogen. It's waiting for the potassium.
Yes.
This is a chest for the ender pearl dust. As you can see, it's also full, which is why the ender killer dropper thingy next to us.
By the way, do take note of that chemical formula, because if you're into chemistry, you can make your own ender pearls that way. And they really work, don't they?
Yep, but yeah, since the chest here is full, the ender farm above here is turned off.
Yes, that was automatic, isn't it, once it's...
Yeah, I mean, there's no need for it to produce more ender pearls.
Let's go down there and see, because I want to see your bedrock maze that you made down there. First of all, we got the UU matter fabricators.
Yep, and if you look at the relays here, you can see they're all filled up with scrap, which basically means that the recyclers are probably also full, which means that all the other materials are now getting voided.
Yeah. Did you notice what I noticed, that they've changed it so that most of the material that recyclers produce is now scrap?
Yes. I think it's because of all the randomness.
Well, it's because there were too many good items coming through, that's why.
Oh,
I mean, it's like I said, I mean, I was getting more food from my recyclers than I ever did from my farm. But...
Yeah, behind here, all the relays here against the wall is just for empty cells. When I created the system, I put in a ton of empty cells. So I didn't want the system to be backlogged just because of that, so I added all these. These chests get the items, like this one here gets the reeds from the sugarcane farm. Mm-hmm. This one gets the wheat. See, one is going down there. And this one gets the seeds, and they are all crafted into plant balls, which goes into a relay in between them, which just sends it into a tube below ground. The tube you can see going up over there next to the glass. It just goes up to the macerator, turning it into dirt.
Right.
And these farms here are a pain in the ass. I was trying to set up an automated system to feed it fertilizer. It currently doesn't have it, because if you feed stuff from the top or the bottom, it goes into the the resource slots or the output slots. It doesn't go into the fertilizer slots. To feed it into the fertilizer slot, it needs to be fed from the sides. But because of how I've set it up with 2 blocks above here,
Yeah.
I have no sides to put it on without it hampering growth.
Right. So in other words, it's not so much the farm that you're annoyed about, it's the fact that you decided to put it at this particular height.
Yeah, I didn't really think it through. If you look below here, below the dirt here, there is a layer of stone bricks,
Right.
which the farm requires. I broke that and put in a relay to feed it items into the fertilizer, which worked perfectly fine.
Good.
Except now there wasn't a stone brick below it, so this entire line here was not getting harvested.
Oh, that's not good.
And the same thing happened with the sugar cane, so I had to remove it. So now I'm just
Could you not
feeding
have made it 1 block lower?
I'm probably going to do that. The only thing that I dislike about this system is that, you know how iron tanks, the actually contents of it is stored in the center bottom block.
Yeah.
Here it is the absolute center block. So if you move it down too far, you lose all the contents, including the circuitry.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, well, I think it's because, when you build them, they have to be solid. They can't be hollow.
Yeah.
But they're both manual farms because initially I started setting up as an automated farm, but the automated farms puts way too many water sources in. You only need this many to make sure that all the soil is fully hydrated.
Yeah.
And with the sugar cane, it was just a pain in the ass because of, well, the shape.
Right.
So there's a lot of spaces where it could have been done better.
Oh, actually, from this angle, we can get a nice view of the Enderman catching system.
They just drop down, get killed, and then there are... just go in there. Down here. Oh, can't go down there. I've modified it a bit, so now we can't get...
Oh, we can't move around.
Oh, I can do that there.
Okay.
Now we can...
Because this just goes on and on and on. We were
Yep.
we were having fun with this last night. This is your new base, isn't it? Really, this is where you live.
I live down here.
The rest of it's all wiring for this area.
Yep.
So eventually you can encase yourself down here, and everything will just be brought to you.
Exactly. I'll just have every tiny hole that I can't fit into, there's an ender chest.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just the wiring for the system. There's a repeater here, because when it turns off the spawner, there might still be endermen that are falling.
Yeah.
And often there are several of them falling. So I want the timer that loops the transposers. I want them to continue pulling out items for, I think it's set to wait 20 seconds before it turns it off. This here is just the logic gates to detect if the normal chest up top, this one is full, or the one up top. The one up top sends the blue pipe wire signal, and this one sends the red one. And this one also gets a signal from the Tesseract if it's full. Sadly, it doesn't work. It just continues to pump in items, which is why I have this, that it just continues to cycle. So this one will actually never be full. I think it's because the Tesseract is so new that it doesn't have any logic yet. There's no option to tell it if the Tesseract's internal buffer is full stop. Do you have a slab?
Yeah. There it goes.
We can go up top, and I can show you some more of the basic stuff up here. This is the sand generators, which is just a igneous extruder creating cobblestone into a pulverizer, which then creates sand and gravel.
Yeah.
The sand gets pumped into this chest here, but since this chest is full, it goes to the same destination as the gravel, which is these recyclers. But since these recyclers are full, if you go in here, down here we have another relay that just puts it into...
see the inside of your head there. That's
it just pumps it into lava.
right.
This here is the macerator that turns plant balls into dirt. Nothing fancy there. This here is the chest where all the UU matter goes from the recyclers, the matter fabricators. Work table or auto crafting table making tin dust gets pumped into a furnace, which then outputs it into this chest here. The ingots, which gets turned into the empty cells into this chest, and this chest is then supplying both the compressor here for the compressed air, as well as the electrolyzers behind here.
Right.
And if you look into them, you can actually see that it's low on cells.
So it is.
But, I mean, since I got so much fertilizer, I'm just letting it run as long as it takes. It is very, very slow at generating it, especially with the new changes that requires dirt. Because as you can see, I got plenty of saltpeter, plenty of sand. It's the dirt that I'm missing.
Can't you hook... You should set up your quarry somewhere where there is dirt, and then just route all the dirt coming from your quarry into that.
True, but then it wouldn't be fully automated. It would require a quarry to run.
Well, make a moving quarry. Now, while I'm watching. Do it.
I don't think you have enough hard drive space to record that much. These two here, and this relay here, there's a lava source block right below it, is because Buildcraft pipes are pieces of shit, even with logic. You see this logic I've set it to if the inventory is full, red pipe signal, and this one is set to if the red pipe signal is off, pump out items. So this would basically fill up the chest again. And it's currently saying it's full, even though it's not. I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's all the slots are
all the slots
filled.
are full. I think that's the trouble.
Yeah, but here's the problem then. Okay, so...
Because ultimately, don't forget, this gate doesn't know that you're only going to be putting saltpeter in here, does it?
Look what's happening now. Now it's filling it up. Oh, and now it's filling it up.
Oh, but you've got your little golems, and I've got some free saltpeter.
They're just trashing it.
Oh, good for them.
And all these iron golems are just to get rid of slimes.
Down, yeah.
And just look around, you can actually see my slime problem.
Yeah.
I have
it's quite well fenced in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's chunks. It's outlined to the chunk borders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slime chunks, at least. Plus, my base is right next to the end portal. Unexpected bonus.
Yeah. It goes down here and up to the end portal. This was not deliberate. It was entirely by chance.
Yep. I was lucky that I didn't quarry out down to the end portal.
Yeah, but we tested this last night, though, didn't we? And you can't quarry away the end portal.
True, but it would just be annoying that then I would have the end portal inside my base.
Oh yeah, who'd want that? Oh, you've got a silverfish.
This is also secondary entrance to...
I thought it was a chunk error for a minute.
But yeah, it's completely dark down here. And I'm just going to head back up because my gravity chest is empty.